what does it mean to be able to play one final game against Carlton?
Yeah, it means the world. Obviously, coming to the decision to walk away was big enough, and then discussions with Nixie when he told me that I was available for selection this week, and to be told that I'm playing and to play against Carlton, it's going to be a very special day for me and my family, and something that I can look back on in 10, 20, 30 years' time, and have a really fond memory of the couple of days leading into the game, and obviously Sunday as well. So I couldn't have asked for it to pan out any other way.
It's obviously pretty tough today, but how do you think you'll be on game day?
Well, hopefully I can get it all out now, and that was the idea. Knock it on the head so I can just enjoy the couple of days leading into the game. And yeah, it's obviously going to be emotional. I've still got a lot of great mates and people at the club at Carlton that I still speak to regularly, and mind you, for 2 hours we'll go out to knock each other's block off. But yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity to play against them, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Matthew Cruiser as well?
Yeah, caught me a bit by surprise this morning as well. I sort of read that as I was coming into the footy club, but yeah, I've been so proud of Cruz and what he's been able to achieve over his career. He's had a bit of hard luck over the journey, and who knows what sort of player he could have turned into if he had a good run at it, but we're still great mates, and I'm certainly proud of what he's achieved over his career, and looking forward to having a beer with him over or whenever that time may be.
Bryce, congratulations, mate. Awesome career. Could you just share a bit of insight into how conversations with the club led us to this point?
It all happened pretty quickly, actually. It was only a couple of weeks ago that I started to get my head around it. Still fighting for my spot in the team, and thought I still had a lot to give and wanted to contribute in what's been a tough year for the footy club. But I started to think about what it might look like next year, and with lack of opportunity, with the way, as I said before, where I'm at where in my career and where the club's going. Speaking to Nixie during the whole year, you know, there was no hiding anything. Everything was on the table, and next year was possibly going to look like this year. So once I sort of got my head around that, mentally, I don't think I could have gone another 12 months physically and mentally, knowing that there was going to be lack of opportunity. So also on the flip side, by me stepping away at this time, that's going to give someone an opportunity, a spot on the list next year for potentially someone over there to their career to be saved, or for a new kid to start his own career, which I got to experience 14 years ago. So once I started to get my head around that, knowing that was going to be an opportunity for someone, I was really content. And as I've sat with the decision the last probably week, it just makes sense, and I'm really clear and really happy with how it's panned out. It certainly was hard. As I said, my body's still in pretty good condition. It was just mentally at times, it was hard to get out of bed and come to training. But as I've mentioned, a few people before, and the players and the coaches have been so supportive, and even though I still selfishly thought I could have gone on and had a little bit of an impact at this club, the right decision was now to hang them up, and to go out a little bit on my own terms as well is something special.
Yeah, thanks. Just then, obviously taking your teammates seemed like the second half might have been all the people that have helped you physically and mentally around the club. Can you sort of speak on them, what sort of impact and how you had to deal with them specifically the last sort of 12 months, that it's obviously left such a lasting imprint on you?
Yeah, well, you certainly can't go through 14 years of high-level footy without a great support network around you, and in the hard times you lean on these people, and I certainly have over the last a lot of stages through my career, but yeah, a lot of times in the last 18 months. And they do it with no questions asked, you know, love, unconditional love and support. It's actually hard to put into words what these people mean to me. And I certainly couldn't have lasted this long for one, but to get through the last couple of years like I have and kept mentally strong and keep fronting up and keep training hard and keep high standards, without these people, it just wouldn't have been possible. So, yeah, I'm very lucky to have some special people in my life.
Would you entertain what it might have looked like if you looked for opportunity elsewhere? Like you said, mentally and physically, you're probably still cherry ripe and good to go. Did that cross your mind?
Yeah, it did. That was another option. I wasn't prepared to wait in limbo, I suppose. Potentially list sizes are coming down next year, salary cap, whatever it might look like, and then being a player at my age, does someone take a chance on you? Am I prepared to wait another 2, 3, 4 months with the unknown? I wasn't prepared to go down that path, and yeah, as you said, I still feel like I had a little bit to give, but to end it on my terms and how I sort of wanted it to, that's how I wanted to go about it.
Head back down the boat?
Potentially, yeah. Look, I still think I'll have a kick at some sort of level, whether that's in the SANFL or locally or in the country. As I said, I was still hell-bent on breaking back into this side only a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I still love footy. I still love having a kick. Still enjoyed training today, and yeah, footy will be something that I'll look to continue next year. At what level, I'm not too sure yet.
Obviously, you've got a lot strong love for Carlton, but do you ever think about what it might have been if you're actually being able to take in as part of starting to kick by the pros, or like that?
Yeah, that question's come up from time to time over the journey. It was a bit of a unique situation to be in before the draft. Oh, look, what ifs, can't really control those sort of things. It's sort of once I was told that the father-son option wasn't on the table anymore, I sort of moved on pretty quick. And as a 15, 16-year-old, just wanting to fulfil a childhood dream and play AFL, you know, I was happy to play anywhere. And that landed me at Carlton, and I'm glad it sort of worked out like that, because I wouldn't have had the relationships and met the people at Carlton that I wouldn't have otherwise. So, yeah.
Do you have a favourite footballing memory over the 14 years?
Oh, there's been lots. First game, winning finals. There's been a handful of milestone games that we were close that we won as well. So, yeah, there's so many great moments that I've had and shared with players both at Carlton and Adelaide, and yeah, I'll reflect over those times over the coming days and weeks, and yeah, look back and be happy to share those moments with some of my best mates.
Bryce, I'm sure you would love to play 66 games for the pros in the last 3 years instead of 30 odd. Can you, that seems like a harsh question, can you put your finger on why you haven't been able to play as much footy as even now you'd love to be playing? Yeah, absolutely. It hasn't quite panned out the way I thought it would over the last couple of years, but I come to this club who was still in a premiership window, and who would have thought 3 years later we'd be going through a bit of a rebuild. Unfortunately, that's how things pan out sometimes, and as you get older and the club goes in a bit of a different direction, that allows some younger guys to get some games in. And what I have enjoyed, though, it has been hard for me not being in and out of the team, but what I have enjoyed is working with these younger guys. I've got a lot of respect for the way they go about it at such a young age. I wish I had some of those training habits and things, determination like these guys have at their age. They're a hungry bunch, and Heath Uni's been really helpful in this area with me in terms of channeling my energy in helping these kids develop and what sort of legacy I'm going to leave with them for the rest of their career. And
that's something that's helped me gotten through these tough times. Sure, I would have loved to play some more games for the footy club and had a bit more success, but that's not the way it panned out, and what it did give me the opportunity to do was work with these young kids and fast track their development, and I've really enjoyed that.
Coaching role?
Look, potentially. I've obviously got to look for a job in the coming months, which will be a bit of an interesting process for me. But yeah, I've done a coaching course over the last couple of years, so that could be an option. Studying some business at uni, done some work experience with Adidas when I was in Melbourne. So yeah, it's going to look a little bit different for me next year, but looking forward to whatever that is going to be next year.
Look, just from a club point of view and also a personal point of view, it's probably appropriate off the back of Gibbs' last point. We just want to congratulate Bryce on his career. I was, I guess, lucky enough to watch it from afar, from a distance. 200 plus games for Carlton. He's an incredible player, and it's been a very distinguished career. So congratulations, firstly. But from my personal point of view, what the last 8 to 10 months has been with Bryce, and to back up his point around what he's been able to do with our younger group. He's been incredible through what's been a really tough season for him, from not being selected, from our regular conversations around what it looked like, where we were heading as a club. We couldn't have asked for more from Bryce and the way he's held himself. Ultimate professional in what has been a challenging time. So I thank you for that, Bryce. I know it's going to put you in a good position coming out of football. And we do a lot of work around prioritising others, and Bryce has been incredible in that space this year. And you only have to look at the way our group are going at the moment to see some of our younger players that are developing so well in what's been a really tough season for everyone involved in AFL. Not being able to play games at a lower level, not to be able to prove yourself that I'm ready to come in and play. Bryce has been exceptional in that space, and right up to this decision, the decision to, which must be a really tough one for him, with that belief that you're still at the level to make a decision to, pull the pin at this point on an amazing career, to prioritise some of his teammates, I think is a credit to you, Bryce. I think it's outstanding. It shows that you are selfless and you are looking after others. So congratulations on an amazing career, and I know he'll have super success. I know at some point you'll be back in the game coaching, by the sound of it, coming for my job. So.
Can you talk us through the process when it started with Bryce, that you had a discussion about what 2021 might look like for him personally?
It was probably very early on. We got together and basically had a conversation around what the season looked like. Obviously, the season had a fair bit of change early. We were on track into round one, and then everything got thrown on its head. But with that, not much changed around where we believed we were as a football club, what direction we felt we needed to take, and part of that was a pretty open and honest discussion around where and why we would play players during the season, about where their form was at. We felt we needed to have a look at some of these younger guys and develop them quickly. And as I said, our conversations were ongoing. We had a number that were extremely tough, where again it was a lot of silence in some of those chats, where we just sat together and thought about what it was going to be. But they were beneficial for us now. I think Bryce has made the decision he has off the back of a number of those conversations and some very good people that he was able to work with across the journey.
So how does pick number one was obviously played 230 odd games and best and fairest, when it come to a club and struggle to find a position, struggle to find an identity? I know you've only been here for 12 months, but it seems a little baffling that he could be left like that.
I don't think Bryce has struggled at all. I mean, the stuff that's behind the four walls that nobody sees, there's a lot of questions on selection, but there's a lot of things that Bryce has done really, really well throughout this period that I've been. I can only speak for the last 8 to 10 months. He's an ultimate professional. He's worked in a space. He's been incredible for us. It's, in practice matches which have been challenging, he's led by example. He's, and these are practice matches where no one's allowed in the stadium. He's playing with 18-year-old kids, and we can't ask for more for what he's given to this club over the period that I've been here. So I don't think I think the word struggle is a bit of a stretch.
In June, he said he would play a lot of footy for the club, and then a few weeks later in July, he said he'd be a victim of his policy. What changed?
Well, it's not. No, I think when we look at the season and how it played out, you wouldn't argue that our younger guys and our groups really developed throughout the year. It's been a hard year for everyone involved, but what we have been able to do is head in the right direction and develop a lot of youth that's coming through. We're starting to see that on field at the moment. A lot of that's off the back of work that our senior guys have done off the field. So, we're really pleased with the way the group's developed across the season, both older, and when I say developed, I talk about, even some of our senior players that are 10 years plus. The challenge with that is that 44 doesn't go into 22, so it's a challenge every week with selection, but that's what we've got to do week in, week out.
Do you feel like you got the best out of Bryce?
Yeah, well, look, I think this year, Bryce would say he'd love to be out there on the field, but from, as I said before, what Bryce was able to give to us off the field, he was fantastic for us this season, in other ways that nobody sees.
Can you talk to us about the process of this final game? How that came about?
Well, it was a conversation that we had, as I said, it was ongoing, and it was really about what he's been able to do across an amazing career. To come up against Carlton, in that second last round, we felt it appropriate and we felt it deserved that we show respect to what he's done during his career, and what a perfect way to play your last game of football with it'll be 33 other players out on the ground, or 43 other players out on the ground that will have a huge respect for what Bryce has been able to do, and I hope our guys perform for him. I know they will, and I know at the end of the game there'll be a lot of respect shown, from both sides for what he's been able to do across a distinguished career.
Talked about a lot about how selfless Bryce is. He said he wanted to go around again and honour the extra year he has on his deal. Still be Bryce player next year.
Yeah, well, that's something we would have had to work through with Bryce, and as I said before, to have him there again. He's talked about the possibility of coaching. There's no reason. We did talk about performance, and if Bryce's performance did get to a certain level, like you've seen with some other players, we would definitely put him in the side at that point. But to have that bonus of someone who's got the experience he does to be working off field with our group, then that's something that we definitely wouldn't pass up on.
So how does, I know you've got three what's a load of play, how does Bryce go from in June to say he's going to play a lot of footy and then featuring twice again for the rest of the year?
I mean, you need to look at the team and what team we're putting out on the park. As I said before, there's challenges in we can't play all 44. I hope Bryce feels the same way about some of our guys who have been out there in Hardigan playing some great football. We've got Will Hamill coming through, McPherson, who's shown some great stuff with his development, and all of that is off the back of the work that Bryce and some of our other senior players have been doing off field. So there's a lot more to it than just looking at the one individual player. There's a mix and a balance of the team and what we are doing off the field. Can't thank Bryce any more for what he's been able to do this year.
Let him loose in the middle this week?
We did have that chat. Yeah, we don't want to give too much away. He'll be our weapon, but I think you're keen to put yourself in the guts, aren't you, mate?
It'd be nice to do it at some stage.
It'd be nice to let him loose.
Who cheers you off?
Oh, in front of no one. No, I haven't got down that far yet. As I said, I just want to look forward to the next couple of days and enjoy it, and hopefully we've got a nice big W next to it, and that'll probably be more to me than anything. So.
You've been involved in footy for a long time. Have you ever seen, it seems like quite a mature decision to make when it's all going on the line. What have you made of the process?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, that he's made a mature decision. I've been lucky enough to work with him for the season. I've seen him make a lot of mature decisions right throughout the year. So, you know, when we had that conversation, it wasn't surprising at all. It was measured. Yeah, I was proud of the decision he'd made. I think he's made the right decision. Ultimately, it comes back to him putting others, you know, prioritising them. I think it's a great decision.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Bryce.